It's a new year, so there are some new laws coming into effect starting on January 15th and going forward from there, including things like the Pharmacare Act and a carbon tax hike and other things that we will get into in this video. I wanted to come here and just kind of break this down for everybody and talk about it. So the Pharmacare Act is starting they're gonna start with insulin and contraceptives, making that universally free. And this is supposed to build a framework to eventually make all prescription drugs universally free, which I don't know if I agree with that because there are already private insurance plans and provincial drug plans in place. And this is something that the federal government is overstepping. It says that it's designed to make prescription drugs and products more affordable and accessible. The federal government says it's committed to long-term funding for the provinces, territories, and Indigenous peoples towards these goals. By October 10th, 2025, or a year after the bill became law, an expert committee must report its recommendations to the health minister, and the health minister must publish on the government's website in a pan-Canadian strategy on the appropriate use of prescription drugs and related products. So this is, like I said, starting in October 10th, by October 10th, there must be a report to the health minister, and the health minister must write out a strategy that not only covers insulin, but must cover all prescription drugs and other products. Additionally, the Canadian Drug Agency must prepare a list of essential medication and related items for a national formulary and develop a national bulk purchasing strategy no later than also that date of October 10th, 2025. And then so that is, again, for all prescription drugs. The immediate thing is diabetes medication and contraceptives. Again, this is a expensive program that we really don't need. It's overstepping its jurisdiction. Like I said, the provinces already have healthcare and drug plan things in progress. So I think that this is overstepping jurisdictionally. I beat this drum in question period all the time when I cover it. The next thing that's listed here is interest rate protections. So this is an adjustment to the criminal code to protect people from predatory lending, and they are basically capping the criminal interest rate at 35%. It used to be 47%. Now it's down to 35%. I still think that's too high. I would have put it down to 30%, but that's just me. This could, unfortunately, critics are saying that this could also drive people with low credit or bad credit to the non-legal, not CLA registered, CLA being Canadian Lending Association registered companies that basically aren't covered by these laws. The CLA fears that the change could have unintended consequences, saying that some Canadians that don't qualify for traditional credit and instead turn to high interest loans could lose access to them, potentially driving borrowers to unregulated companies, that's a big problem. They also reduced the cost of payday loan borrowing to $14 per $100, which that's a good, like, I think that's good. But again, I think the lending rate probably should have gone down to 30%. But I'm not an economist. They're also, what the government is going to do for child care benefit, or not child care benefit, Canada Child Benefit, is extending the benefit to 6 months after the death of a child, which I think that's fair. I'm not going to sit here and shit on the Liberal government for that, because it could cover funeral costs, it could cover like all sorts of costs that are surrounding death, and also could help alleviate financial stress if there are other children in the house and you need to take leave, for example, from work because you're grieving. That money could help top up the family for a little bit, and I think that's fair. I'm not gonna sit there and say that the Liberals are bad for that. There's also going to be a new anti-scab law, which basically says that worker or employees are not allowed to hire scabs unless it basically affects public safety or damage to the employees or employer's property. So this is very much a please vote for us, unions. That's what this is. This is unions. Anyone in a union, please come and vote for the Liberals. Because this is Bill C-58. This was passed in May and comes into effect later this year. Federal employers, specifically, won't be allowed to use replacement workers or scabs who cross the picket line to do the work of unionized employees during lockouts or strikes, with exceptions. Offenders will be fined a maximum $100,000 for each day the offense is committed. And employers may use replacement workers only in exceptional circumstances, such as to prevent threats to life, safety, health of the public, or prevent serious damage or destruction to their property. In these cases, employers must first offer the opportunity to the unit members. The changes take effect on June 20th, 2025. So yeah, this is clearly a unions and union bosses, please vote for us in the next election. We also have incoming changes to Bill C-59, which covers deceptive marketing practices. This is an ironic bill because it's specifically meant to target the so-called greenwashing, which is misleading environmental claims, making it easier for the Commissioner of the Competition Bureau to take enforcement action against greenwashing by June 20th, 2024. And what's really funny is the Liberal government, with that $400 million of money that disappeared into that environmental fund, they greenwashed. They literally did what they're trying to punish other people for doing. This is so ironic, this greenwashing nonsense, because they themselves are guilty of greenwashing. That is why the province, or the House of Commons, was gridlocked for so long, because they were freaking trying to figure out where the documents for the slush fund went, for the environmental slush fund. Oh my god, this is so funny. We also now have absences due to pregnancy loss. Bill C-59 also is the same bill as the deceptive marketing. It also allows for paid absences related to pregnancy loss up to 8 weeks in the event of a stillbirth or 3 days in the event of any other pregnancy loss. So this also applies to cases involving federally regulated employees, their spouses, or pregnancies where the employee intended to be the parent. So like an adoption or a surrogate. And this only applies if the employee has completed 3 months of continuous employment. And then the next 3 days after that leave would be paid. The new Canada Disability Benefit. Oh boy. This is designed to help financially support people aged 18 to 64 with disabilities. Under the Canada Disability Benefit regulations, annual payments will begin in July 2025, and the amount individuals receive will depend on their income and the income of their spouse or common law partner, because of course it will, because we are the only people who are affected by our benefits because of our spouse working. What the hell is this? Why do we have to be financially dependent on our spouse and create resentment? And because no matter what, no matter how much you love your partner, that's going to create a sore spot and a form of tension. It says the maximum amount for the benefit of the July 2025 to June 2026 period will be $2,400 or $200 a month. Oh boy. Thank you very much for the pittance, government. This is pathetic. You can also find information for availability on the Canada Revenue Agency website. So I highly suggest, if you are disabled, you go and check out how to apply if you want to. I think it's if you receive the disability tax credit, it's automatic, but don't count me on that. Canada Pension Plan increase rates are not changing, but the first earning ceiling is changing. So if you're a senior or if you're working and you're contributing to your CPP or your employer contributes, first earning ceiling is the year's maximum earning potential, increasing to $71,300, up from $68,500. Second level is $81,200, which is good. We now also have tax bracket changes. This is also important. So the new breakdown is if you earn between $57,000 and $375 or less, you will pay 15% tax. If you earn between $57,375 and $114,750, you will pay 20.5%. If you earn between $114,750 and $177,882, that's a strange number, you pay 26%. Next one, $177,882 to $250,414, 29%, and then $250 and up, you will pay 33%. These taxes make these tax brackets. I think I can't remember what the last tax brackets were, but these don't seem to be too much higher. Their amnesty period for the assault rifle guns that are banned is over on October 30th. Bill C-21 has banned more than 1,500 guns. This amnesty order accompanied this bill. And so this amnesty order protects people from who lawfully possess the guns before the ban from liability, giving them a chance to surrender the firearms to local police or have a gunsmith deactivate them by the deadline, according to Public Safety Canada. Indigenous people who own the banned guns can continue to use them under the Aboriginal and treaty rights and for sustenance hunting until they can find replacements during the amnesty period. Businesses can also participate in a buyback program until October 30th for the assault-style firearms that they carry. This program is not yet available for individual gun owners. Of course. Of course it's not. Why would it be? Why would they want to help out the individuals too? Reductions to immigration, of course. They're focusing on, or they're reducing permanent residence targets over the next few years, starting this year. There will be an overall decrease of 105,000 admissions in 2025, according to the government. That's not very many. Priority for admissions will be for those people who are already in Canada who are applying to be residents and from key sectors such as health and trades. Why are we not incentivizing our own citizens to become healthcare workers instead of importing our healthcare workers? Anyway, the plan includes targets for temporary residents for the first time, with the population expected to drop by 445,901 in 2025. The decrease takes into account temporary residents who will become permanent residents or leave Canada, as well as international students. Study permits are capped by falling by 10% in 2025 from 2024. So this is apparently to improve housing affordability, boost the economy, and lower the unemployment rate. They're capping the alcohol tax at 2% because the next rise was supposed to be at 4%, which was way too high. Of course, there's the GST holiday, which ends on February 14th. And of course, the carbon price hike, which is what everybody is focusing on. The consumer carbon price will increase to $95 a ton on April 1st, 2025. It is rising an extra $15 each year until it reaches $170 a ton in 2030, according to the federal government, because let's just tax the crap out of our businesses and our delivery people and our everything. Our farmers, our grocers. Let's just do that. It says that the carbon price is one of the most effective ways to slash greenhouse gas emissions and fight climate change, despite economists widely supporting the carbon price. Most premiers have opposed it. Yeah, no shit. Because it's not helping anything and it's bankrupting the citizenry. So the next payment for the rebate will be January 15th. And it applies to Canadians who filed their income tax returns and lived in Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Ontario, and the 4 Atlantic provinces. Consumers in British Columbia, Quebec, and Northwest Territories will not receive the payment because they have their own carbon pricing systems. Although Yukon and Nunavut use the federal system, they distribute the proceeds themselves. So that's why they don't, the payments are different there. But that's a little breakdown of the laws Looks like Bill C-63 is still before Senate. I was looking to see if Bill C-63 would be among those laws passed, and it doesn't seem to be. But the thing that really concerns me is the carbon tax hike and the Pharmacare. The Pharmacare Act is going to be the most expensive one that we really can't afford. And the other thing, the Canada Disability Benefit, I would much rather not receive that $200 a month than and have the current disability system fixed than just receive this little top up, because that's all it is a little top up on a benefit that needs to be reassessed, reapplied, and not affected by somebody else's income. That's my 2 cents on it. Let me know what you guys think of these laws coming into effect, especially if you're Canadian. And I hope you guys are having a wonderful start to your new year. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.